basically I'm going to be answering all your questions that you have regarding women. So let's get right into it. Number one, why do women think that they're special? Okay, I'm going to give you guys a scenario so hopefully you can understand a little bit better from a woman's perspective, and this will hopefully help you not be as mad about it. You have to imagine this. Imagine you are a normal person and you just exist. And everywhere you go, you get people who stare at you, you get people who offer to do things for you, you get people who compliment you, you get hundreds of messages daily or weekly or whatever on your social media telling you how amazing you are, how beautiful you are, how they would love to take you out. You get complimented by your parents maybe a lot, by your friends. Everyone tells you how amazing you are. Of course, if this happened to you as a man, you would too probably believe it and think that you're special. And that's the problem with so many women. So many women are constantly hearing from men everywhere, especially men, but also women, from a lot of women too, but especially men, how amazing they are. So they believe it, and all types of women hear this. It doesn't necessarily have to be the most beautiful woman on the planet. It doesn't necessarily have to be the most stunning, gorgeous girl ever out there. It can be any woman really. Most women who are attractive or even semi-attractive or even average looking will get a lot of attention. So a lot of them have a mismatched proportion as to, what they can expect and what they should actually have in life and what is reality. Because a lot of men obviously don't do it for any other reason other than to get something out of them as well. Why do women not know what they want and follow the world's opinions instead of trusting their own? That is a very good question. It's actually quite psychological if you think about it. I do have a background in psychology, but anyway, this is actually something that you need to think about yourself. Women and men are not the same. When it comes to politics, when it comes to world issues, when it comes to friends, family pressure, anything, men are much more rational. So men are rational thinkers, and men can think for themselves, and they will think, okay, does this make sense for me? Is this logically something I can believe? Is this logically something that I can follow through with? And if not, they tend to be a lot more stubborn and stern in their own ways. Women by nature are more malleable. Women by nature are more agreeable. And women by nature don't want to lead, so they're more likely and they're more willing to follow something if it feels emotionally right to them. Women base a lot of their opinions and a lot of their decisions on emotion. So if something can emotionally convince them to feel right. For example, if you want to get a woman to agree with climate change and to fight for climate change, you just got to tell her the right things in the right way. You can say to her, yeah, you're going to save the turtles. You're going to save the dolphins. Think of the poor baby dolphins. And all the women are going to be like, oh my gosh, the poor baby dolphins. And then of course, you've got a bunch of women who don't really think about it logically and think, what on earth even is climate change? Why would we have climate change? Is this just propaganda? But they think, okay, you know what? It's true. It must be true. I must help the dolphins. And that is why women oftentimes don't form their own opinions. They follow someone else's opinions. And this is why so many women are lacking and need to have strong men in their lives who will lead them in the right direction. The problem is, of course, many women don't want a strong man because they pretend and still want to be independent and lead themselves and do everything right. But in reality, a lot of them just lead themselves into chaos and doom. Women are not the same as men, and we are not able to see all the little details that men are wired to see biologically and neurologically more than women. I hope that makes sense. Maybe I'll make another video on this. This is actually quite interesting. Next question, does she like me or does she just like my money? Good question. Is she constantly asking you for money? Is she constantly talking to you about the money that you're spending or not spending on her? Is she trying to get things out of you consistently? Is she telling you, I'd love for you to pay for my nails, or, I have this thing coming up next week and it'd be great if you could help me out? If she's constantly referring a lot of what you guys do or she does to your money, then it might be just for the money. Because a girl who truly loves you, no matter how much money you have, is not going to ask you for money unless she's in desperate need. Like, let's say she has a massive tax bill and she cannot pay it. Then she might. Then she'll be like, you know what? I'm so sorry to bother you with this, but other than that, a woman who truly loves you, I can promise you, she'll never ask you for money because she'll respect you too much as a man. So that's the difference. If she's constantly asking for money, that's your answer. Why do women lack accountability? I've said this once and I'll say it again. Women lack accountability because they get away with it. If you constantly got away with doing something bad and staying out of trouble, you would too. A lot of women lack accountability because no one puts them in their place, not having the accountability, and a lot of women get to act a certain way and get away with it, so they just don't take accountability for it. If women were held to the same standard as men and they were actually put in their place the way men are, then maybe more women would take accountability. So the only ones who really do are the ones who are put in their place, or the ones who genuinely want to grow and learn and become better women. The next question is, why do women lie a lot? So I don't really know if this is purely a woman thing. I think women and men both lie a lot, and people lie because they're ashamed to be who they truly are. People lie because they're trying to manipulate you and get things out of you, and they don't care about you or your feelings. It's a habit. Maybe they never grew out of it. Maybe it was a childhood mechanism. They never grew out of lying. People lie to protect their egos and to protect themselves and to make themselves look better than they are. So genuinely, again, it goes back to protecting their egos. People lie because they do not want to face the truth. That's it. It's not just women, it's women and men. On this one, I will say it's probably just as much women as it is men. Jeez. Okay. You need a bigger text bubble. That's a useless comment. Women don't know what they want. Okay, sometimes, but ultimately, yes, I will agree with that statement that it applies more to women than it does to men. And here's the reason. Men are much more goal-oriented, and men genuinely have things that they want to pursue and they want to go after in life. For women, it's trickier because since feminism has started, it's kind of shifted the whole goal that women used to have. It's tried to convince women that they should have a different goal, but biologically, women don't actually want to have a different goal. So many women deep down still want the same thing they've always wanted, which is to have a healthy family, you know, a good husband, children, a happy home, peace, stability. Women still want this, but on the other hand, unfortunately, because of society pressure, because of the world we currently live in, where women try to tell each other that they should just stay single and, you know, boss babe and like fuck all men, they are not happy and they don't know what they should go after if not that. For men, it's always been clear. They should go after being better. They should go after, you know, making money or resources in general. Men have always chased resources for their families and they still do that today. That is still something that men go after. Men go after becoming valuable in society. So they want to be able to help people. They want to be able to support their families. This is something that men do and have always gone after, and that is why they have more direction in life generally than women, because women have never really been the same as men. Women are not people who are like, I want to save the world. No woman thinks this. A woman thinks, I want to have a happy family and take care of my husband and my kids. But nowadays, women are being convinced that they shouldn't want or shouldn't have to do that, so it's messed up. And that is why a lot of women don't know what they want, because they haven't been told, hey, you know what? It's okay to want to just get married, support your husband, and maybe have a job and have kids and whatever. You know, like women always think, oh, I have to be a doctor, or I have to be a lawyer, or I have to be the best sales operator in the corporate line history of whatever. And maybe some women want to do that, and some women do have that direction and they do have that drive and they want that, but many women are lost. They're being told they have to be like a man. And deep down, no woman wants to be like a man. Any woman who says she wants to be like a man, that's her ego talking. That's not her talking deep down, that's her ego talking. And she's saying that because she wants to feel safe and protected in her own little bubble, in her own little way, do it by herself, but it's not gonna make her happy in the long run. All right, guys, that was the last question for today. Have a great rest of your day. Stay tuned for the next video, and thank you so much for watching. Mwah.